parts when I go to upload it, but better than staying in that wonderful place. I'm sorry it took me so long to realize what was going on. It must have happened right as the last game was starting. Admin Chess Lamarck is streaming. Who is that? Admin Chess. Oh, there he is. Admin Chess Lamarck. Admiral. Alright, guys. Join tournament. I'm in what place? I'm in 5th place? I don't know. That was an interesting game, but not a good idea to berserk against stronger players in the 7+3, probably. Berserking is good for sudden death time controls. We generally don't want to berserk in increment arenas unless, like, you're playing a really much lower rated player. He sacrificed his increment to do that berserk. I mean, that's insane. It's insane to sacrifice your increment in that time control. You'd have to be much, 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 much stronger than your opponent to berserk in this time control. Last game. I got a little distracted at the end due to our little problem with the stream. So you have two very strong new players seem to appear out of nowhere. Okay, now Ahmed, is this legitimately got a lot of games? Enough games that he's like legit? We should probably berserk. I am behind. He's much, much lower rated. But I'm sacrificing my increment like my last round opponent. But my last round opponent was slightly lower rated than me. I'm sacrificing my increment here against someone 1,000 points lower. That's okay. It's still risky, I think. Greedy. But it's a central pawn, and I like central pawns. Basically, if my opponent isn't really significantly low rated, I wouldn't consider berserking. The problem is that you have half. It isn't that you have half a time to start with. What my last game's opponent doesn't take consideration is the increment loss that's fatal. That's the rule that basically makes it insane to berserk. Now my opponent here is playing pretty well, actually, thus far. He's used 5 seconds for the whole game and only dropped a pawn. More evidence that people just play too fast. Ahmed, take your time. You have 7 minutes for the game. No wonder he's 1,200. If you took your time, you'd be like 1,800. This is a long time control. 7+3 is a long time control. It's practically like classical. He's playing a 1-minute game. This is not looking good. No pieces left to attack with. Is Switch frozen? No. Don't start. Better not be. Doesn't look frozen. Frozen. You're surprised he hasn't resigned. He's a beginner. It's okay to play on down pieces. He's won games where he was down pieces. You know. Until a certain point, you do that. You know, when you start to get to be an advanced player, and you know for sure you're going to lose, then you can start resigning. All right, we're still clinging to first place. Aldisto likes to lurk in these tournaments under the kind of below the surface. We had some tough games so far already. The stream is good. Guys, please support the stream. If you can, donate. Donate to support the stream. Subscribe. We need your support to keep the malfunctions coming. Actually, I messed up the stream when I went to switch screens to add someone to the Pawnda and Horses Club. I messed up the stream out of the kindness of my heart. I normally don't play with the screens while I'm streaming. Play with the pages. Ah, there we go. The Aldisto. He's also an E6 player like Morwa. Uh-oh. Alms donates. Bullet chess, E5. We're going to get a Sicilian by a weird move order. No. It's a Philidor. Philidor. I should learn the Shirov Gambit, but I don't know that at all. I'm not going to risk it here. Play something solid. How good is G3? I honestly haven't studied this really either. But I think, and I might be wrong, that the Philidor is kind of a close relative of the Pirts. If you can play the H3, G3 type of setups against the Pirts, you can play it against the Philidor. And if he wants to do some kind of Simon Williams thing, actually Aldisto likes not castling, so he's going to set up this Lion's Jaw thing now. That's fine, man. I don't have to castle on the king side if you want to be Simon Williams. Aldisto has shown in the Sicilian how much he likes not castling with black and like throwing his H pawn. I'm expecting like a similar sort of motif here. So I'm not going to castle. I have more space. I have more waiting moves than black here. See? I told you so. But this takes away all those Lion's Jaw, Knight, whatever this thing is. All those little squares, and your H pawn thing isn't going to do anything. I might not even castle kingside. Maybe just don't castle kingside. H6. Forming the Lion's Jaw. I had never heard of that till the last few years. It's kind of an annoying setup here that black can try to do with G5. But frankly, it's not very dangerous, I think, unless I've castled. Also, the interesting possibility of Knight H4 in this position. Knight H4, G5, Knight F5. Not the only move, though. I'm a little suspicious of Knight H4. Aldisto using some time, though, thinking. He's basically doing the standard plan, though. Alright. Realistically, I'm not going to castle queenside, but I can delay castling. Knight H4. Knight H4, G5, Knight F5. Bishop takes F5. Pawn takes F5. I'm frankly not sure about that. We can keep the tension, but once he plays G5, Knight G6, what do we do? A bad plan is better than no plan at all. This is a bad plan. If knight e6, maybe I take on e5 first and then play knight f5. It's much better. There is a certain risk with that too. Is it much better? I don't know. I can't just go knight back to f3 on g5. Do I take on e5 and play knight f5 and take? No. I don't really like this anymore. This may not be the solution to the lion's jaw. So, Agnes Karajewski just donated $5. Did that just happen, or did it happen like years ago? It just happened, right? I'm up to date. Well, Ponte's pawn opens up his bishop, so I guess I should go here. Takes. Now black can castle queenside. I have no idea what to make of this position, frankly. I don't like that my central pawn has been drawn out to f5, but his knight on f8 is really bad. His rook on h8 is really bad. Exchanging on e5 would have opened up his bishop on e7. So that's why I didn't make that exchange. Yeah, I think truthfully, the position is fine. It's just something that I'm not really accustomed to. What? I was expecting d5, but not right away. I was expecting like first an exchange on d4. Maybe this is a smart move by my opponent. Unclear. So if I take on e5, his queen is in the process of eating that pawn on f5. I don't think taking helps. So castling is interesting. a5 is interesting. g4 is interesting. Castling. There's a problem with that. What about my king here, objectively? I don't know. Picking moves at random now. I'm still trying to stay flexible with my castle. I was concerned if castles he plays e4. He still might play e4. That dog is really driving me nuts. Dog. Dog, your days are numbered. You keep barking. Lichess 0. Aldisto. He won the last tournament, I should mention. We host an arena every Tuesday. Wasn't it last week that Aldisto won? Or was that 2 weeks ago? He won one of the last ones. Actually, he's a pretty strong player. He hasn't scored well against me lately, but he had beaten me quite a few games in the past. He has like 33% overall. Actually better than 33. Actually worse than 33. All right, whatever. My statistics are a little bit poor. Wow, bishop e4. I was going to play this anyway. I mean, I just wanted to loosen his structure. He has around 33% against me. But now we're going to castle. For lack of a better option. I mean, maybe that was a very, very bad move. Maybe I should have just ripped open the position now with d takes e5 and then castled. It sacrifices a pawn. It's really not a big deal at this point. Oof. This may have been a very serious mistake. We have some interesting tactical ideas with that bishop unprotected. This is really nutty. He's castling queenside here. The OMG. Wow, I could just take on b6 and play a7. That almost wins. Almost. Man, I should have some crushing tactic here. Queen e5, bishop d4, queen f5. Where's the crushing tactic? I don't see it. Bishop takes b6, pawn takes b6, a7. That's not going to go anywhere. Maybe I should protect that pawn with the obvious queen d3. So d4 isn't that clear. d4, queen c4. Looks very dangerous for black. We have other moves. Maybe rook d1. d4, rook f d1. It looks insane to play d4. I'm basically trying to set up bishop takes a6 with queen d3. Just lost a rook. I think we'll settle for the material. Those bishops. Bishop takes b6. I'm not so sure. It's probably an interesting try. Weird opening. Marwal just put on like 100 points. Where did he get all those points? Dude, where did he get all his points? Alright, I don't want to fall asleep here. Maybe I should just write off the bishop on h8. It's a tax write-off. Keep going forward. That opens up his king. But he's got a blockader. Alright, c4. Also interesting. This is no time to start thinking. Bishop takes e4. Really should be good enough. Pawn takes. Queen c3 check. Now he's got some last-minute cheapos. All right, he gave it up. So we're only in 7th place. Who did Morwa destroy? Like, what is this? He he crushed everyone. Well, he's had a series of really good pairings. God. 1800, 1500, 1600, 1800, 1800, 1800, 1600. That's fair. Oh, man. I'm playing like master. Now I get an 1800. All right. Too strong to berserk, I think. Michigan. It's near Maryland, but a little bit north. I love this. All right, so knight c6, d4. Knight c6 is a really rare move. The opening encyclopedia doesn't really like that move that much, but it's probably playable. All right, here we go. This actually looks like one of my early tournament games. Knight e4. So I can't go queen g4 here. I don't know. Maybe this isn't so good for me. Strange. I don't know this. Queen d3 I have to play. Okay. It's kind of awkward. Queen d3, queen h4. This is getting weirder and weirder by the minute. Queen f3 doesn't work. Queen g4. Knight c3. a3. It's a funny variation. Queen g4, knight c3, a3, bishop a5, bishop d2. Where does he put his knight? Acerbate. That's crazy. Maybe just a3. a3 is another way to do it. Slow. This player is one of your viewers. I know that. Thanks for the update. Most of you guys are my viewers. 72 players, wow. I don't think this is that bad for black. Very strange to play such a variation in 8 seconds with black. But he's familiar with this. Queen g4. Knight c3, a3. Bishop a5, b4. No, bishop d2 I said. The knight a4. It's just too unclear. This is the other problem here. I mean, it's possible the queen h4 is not a good move. I just wasted like 3 minutes. I don't understand how no one can beat Marwa except for me. He's a great bullet player, but shouldn't apply to this time control. You guys, you stronger players. Aldisto. Okay, he's just avoided all of them. How did he manage to avoid all of them in like 8 games? Okay, so Rossador just takes right away. It's playable, but probably not best. Space hog. You can't decide. You can play more wild. Look at that, 36 points. You're not going to play anybody. What DK guy? You just like being a spoiler? You do your duty. This is ridiculous that he has 36 points. Rossador had a really interesting opening, but I think it's going south. Yeah, I thought you're in charge of the pairings here, Mr. Coffee. The resident tournament director. Highly suspicious tournament you're running. The arena system, I don't think it would fly at FIDE. This is too much. Too much space. Maybe D5 is too much for me. I should have remained flexible. Huge mistake by Rossador. If he plays knight a5, he has kind of annoying things like bishop a6, bishop b7, but I think exchanging the pawns, while it opens this diagonal, on doubling my pawns, it helps me. And it also opens my own bishop, and he no longer has pins with like bishop a6. So, I think he shouldn't do that. The theme of the day and my lifetime seems to be, you guys play too fast. It's hard to adjust though. If you're faced with this time control and you're used to playing 3-0, that's what Morwa is doing. He plays 1-0 and 3-0, I think. Can't adapt. Setting up for the next game. The famous Karpov-Kasparov. One should not forget to develop the pieces. This is more than just an average cheapo. Probably the queen is the piece that benefits from centralization more so than any other. Check. Check on b5, king f8. I'm actually sitting here thinking about what I would do if he played c6, but I mean, come on. He can't let me push. Right now. I haven't been out of the house in a while, so you know it's that time. Time to go for a little walk. I needed some fresh air anyway, so it was definitely the time to have a little walk. Fresh air in the park. quickly. There's always time for defense. If necessary. If absolutely necessary. We will defend. Now, I was just enjoying my afternoon walk when you played Bishop B4 check. And now, for our next plan. Space. I don't think we're going to catch up to Morwa, who now has a ridiculous score thanks to lichess. The pawn shield. We have two squares, f4 or e3. e3 sort of sets me up for pins. So here we've got a nice fat fork on d3. Either way, there's some danger. Very subtle ideas. Anybody got the link? Did you lose your page? Here's the tournament link. I like my granny pirate. Is that a granny hat or a pirate hat? Has to be. Thanks to Bob for the gift sub this week. Thank you to Jim and Oms on Twitch for your kind donations. Please support the stream. We also had a donation from, who was it? Agnes. All right. The very subtle Queen H6 looks difficult to meet, frankly. This is sort of a Morales theme. Brute force. H5. Last chance for black there to play F5 or F6. There's still a little play left if he had done that. All along my king was safe up here. Tarash French theme. Let's go back to tournament. Obviously this is ridiculous. Like, all seriousness, there are like 6 or 7 players who are 2200 in this tournament. And these are Marwa's pairings. 18, 15, 16, 18, 18, 18, 16, 18, 18, 18. So anyway, it was very correct. Now I got another 2200. This is like my 5th 2200. Arrostador, interesting opening, but I think A3 was a mistake. God, I hate this stupid opening. We had some games already. I'm going to go back to the old days with Queen takes D5. This is in the books. I'm really going to have to study this. It's like one of those openings that if you got it in a tournament game, you'd be able to figure it out over the board, but this is like the 5th time I've played this. And I'm sort of making it up, reinventing the wheel every time I play black here. Pawndas. Well, Pawnda is a joke because it's, you know, black and white, like chess. chess pieces are black and white. Plus Pawnda. Pawnda. In Hungarian, it's pronounced like pawn. Pawnda. 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 So, let's see. Knight f3 has to be the main line. Man, the authors that I've seen talk about this opening are totally dismissive of this line. Joe Gallagher, he just totally dismisses it. Repertoire books. I wonder, what did Richard Pallister have on this? I have several Sicilian repertoire books with black. So I've played queen to d8 lately. Queen e6 feels like I'm playing the elephant gambit, but it's probably the best move. The problem with the queen there is that it can actually become endangered. I don't want my queen to be an endangered species. So basically I spent 2.5 minutes repeating whatever I played last time. Pirate hat. It looks like definitely white. Queen d8. Chess for Tigers. Highly acclaimed book by Simon Webb. That was recommended to me years ago by Yochanan Afek, and he's been highly... Who was it? Oh, I know who liked the Chess for Tigers. Jonathan Rowson. This is a surprising move. That doesn't seem right. An unbelievably hesitant move from the normally ultra-aggressive Aldisto. Very, very strange to see d3 from him. That does not seem in character. Knight takes e5, queen d4. Now the questions. a5 perhaps. Slow. Developing my bishop. Bishop d6, knight b4, knight b4, queen a4, check, knight c6. So it's a little bit like a Benoni. It's basically a Benoni. It's weird. He's playing the Blumenfeld gambit with white, essentially. Knight b4. So on knight e5, my bishop is protecting this. I guess we ought to protect our pawn. We're up a pawn. Aldisto, tough player. Morwa must have... Why is not... How does Morwa have 1,000 games played already? He's like taking an hour off. I don't see how you can use this pairing system. The random pairing system. You'd have like some sort of lawsuit if you tried to use this pairing system in a over-the-board tournament. Mathematically unfair. Too random. That retards my development a bit. Now this isn't really good. Yeah, there is an option to berserk. Are you somehow insinuating that that reduces the randomness factor? I don't understand your point. Or is it just a unrelated question? From our fine subscriber trolling a roll. Reduces the number of games. Wait, I don't follow you. I'm a little bit thick-headed at times. You mean if I were to restrict the option to berserk? Oh, disallow. See, I need to do reading comprehension. Disallow berserk, yes. Marwan didn't berserk against me, right? Or did he? Didn't. Only that first guy. Marwan knows better than that. He's probably taking more risks with berserking than I am. So we're really, this is one of my better wing gambits with black. White does not seem to have really enough compensation for the pawn. Still, though, we have to do something. Time is money. That's my good bishop, so don't do anything to harm it. I don't really want to trade it off unless I have to. Probably bishop g4 is not a great move. And immediately we have this issue. But there are different ways to deal with this. Maybe this circumstance. No, he's got 94 there. All right, I changed my mind. Am I allowed to change my mind? I shouldn't have gone there in the first place. Talking to my hand, sorry. I shouldn't have played bishop g4. This is a smart move by Augusto. He's a fairly experienced player. Trading his bad bishop for my good bishop. A positional exchange. Favorable positional exchange. Though maybe I missed something there. There was a6. Bishop e2. Bishop e2, rook e2. a6. Actually, I have no threat. My rook's not protected. Complicated. I don't care about finishing second to the lucky bullet player. Is he ever going to play one good player above 2,000? I mean, all you guys are good players. Well, then again, we all suck compared to grandmasters. But is he ever going to play anyone? Now he's playing Dimitrilas, right in the 1800 category. He'll finish the whole tournament without playing one of the 10 people who were rated like 2,200 in the tournament. It's just, I've never seen quite that bad of a distribution of pairings. Okay, so bishop f3, we have d3. I was expecting this pretty much, for sure. And I was thinking about a6. Very strange blunder from our opponent here. That's a drug move. Drug move. He's on f7. This is still a drug move. This doesn't work. Aldo still likes to take risks and play kind of crazy openings. But in this case, he clearly went a little bit over the edge. This is one of several moves. Also bishop d7. There are probably others. It's sufficient for black here. Okay, this sacrifice was just not good enough. One last chance for your hero. Yeah. I hate undeveloping here. You can play e4. It's just kind of mean. May the back rank be with you. This is probably a little too fancy. I can't imagine that I'm in any danger whatsoever here. Well, I was going to take on f3, then I changed my plan. That'd be kind of dumb. Meanwhile, Morwa has 300 points. I'm curious about the analysis board. How far are we in book here? I mean, d3 can't be theory. Shirazi Kazgalev. So queen e6 is played more commonly, but queen d8, the cognoscenti play that move. Apparently. Queen d8, d3, that's got to be a novelty. d3 is too passive. All right. We're good. Our intuition was okay there. I've played that before. Now, DK guy coming out of nowhere. Another player here who lost all of his games in the beginning of the tournament. Now he's winning every game. Now, maybe he got luckier pairings. Aldisto kept him down there. Rossador close to competitive. And Arturas is 2234. I didn't realize he was so high. So Marwa, now what is he doing? He's playing, he drew. Now he can just give out draws. Coast to victory. I bet it was a fighting game. That's a fighting game. Do you think that's a fighting game? Down to king and pawn versus king. Yeah, I had no chance. We beat him and you guys Aldisto again. Meanwhile, Marwa hasn't played anyone over 1800. Okay then. Poor Aldisto. Poor me. I know that people have campaigned to have other formats of tournaments here on lichess. It's been nuked. The idea has constantly been nuked. I don't know why they're so militant against Swiss system tournaments. We had this a long time ago. Was it against Aldisto? This is a good variation. That's probably the most interesting one. Played against me by Zoltan Medved, like far, far before it was popularized at the top level. Anyways, this is one of the many Aronian Vacher Le Grave games that I really like from Levon. Levon is just a master, and condolences to him. His wife passed away tragically. It's just ridiculous. D4, E4, 95. Yeah, Levon's wife, Ariane, died in a car accident. She was in the hospital. I don't know the details, but it's been in the chess news for the past day or two. I mean, the accident didn't just happen. I guess she had been hospitalized for a while. But I didn't realize how serious it was till they just said she had passed away. I never actually met her, but I have a lot of friends who are mutual friends. She was a strong chess player and a really talented person. Okay, knight f6 now. This looks correct. Yeah, she was like 33. I don't really know any details. But Keith Arkle posted about it on Facebook, some others. Life is short. I think the coronavirus also makes us look in the mirror and realize how lucky we are for every day we have. In the hospital for 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing about it a while back, and I thought, and I didn't get the impression that it was like she was in critical condition or something. I'm not sure the details. All right, G6. I think this is still theory. That's not the only move, though. I think I've seen like bishop, maybe bishop D6. G6. Maybe it's not theory. Maybe that's what Aldisto did against me last time, many, many light years ago in a previous life. Actually, I don't recall now. Is he threatening to take? Boomer remover. That's a good one. It's a good handle. You turned 33 today. Oof. Happy birthday. Corona, baby. Good to see you back on the stream. Thanks for subscribing, Mr. Trouts. I guess I should really castle before playing b3, just to be on the safe side. But given Aldisto's predilection for not castling, I'm sort of afraid to castle against him in general. This move looks slightly suspicious. Speaking of Aronian, man, we're in Caruana Aronian territory. There was a game where he crushed Caruana too. A really nasty one in this type of line. Levon just sacked a pawn. It was this awesome positional pawn sacrifice. We could do the same thing here. It looks interesting. Of course, this is an old idea. If you look, this opening in reverse is the floor Mykonos, like I played against El Rosador. The idea of sacrificing this pawn, I lost a game in this type of structure, grabbing a pawn like that with my queen and having to put it on b1. I put it on b1. Queen b8 and queen b8 is not a good square for your queen, ideally. Okay, so let's see. Take, take, take. I'm not sure if I have enough for the pawn here in this instance. I had other moves. He didn't take it. You don't want it. It's logical. Watch too much Star Trek. Mr. Coffee, you're liable to start saying logical too much. This feels wrong. Feels like I'm going the wrong way with this. But maybe not. Maybe not. We'll just play it very simply. Compact. You're studying forcing chess moves. The author had an honorable mention. Oh. Yeah, that game I played, I don't remember the opponent's name. Charlie was very enthralled by that. At the time, I didn't really think about it like it was a big deal. But he said I played some sort of novelty. That was Norway, 2006. Bishop b2, an alternative instead of castles, maybe. Oh, you have 97. You know I want to sack the exchange. But black is in trouble here positionally. And his counterattack is not happening fast enough. I could sack an exchange. That feels overly fancy play syndrome. To borrow a poker term, sacking the exchange there is like playing for the gallery, overly fancy type move. I've done it a lot. A lot of people have that chronic problem that they always want to make like really cool sacrifices. You have to be very thoughtful. Now this seems strange. He's letting me damage his structure, but actually, what choice does he have? Under the circumstances, his position isn't that bad. He actually has some threats of f4. I wonder if I made a mistake there. Should I play some prophylactic move like queen d2? Possibly setting up takes with queen a5 and also slowing down his f4. There's definitely possibilities for more subtle moves. The tournament is not in doubt. Morwa just dominated the under 1800 crew. But I don't like rook d8. I guess it's not a bad move. Except for queen d6. And it might be a very bad move. I have queen d6. But he'll blockade though. So it's not clear that rook d8 is bad. Queen d6 with a very solid blockade of my pawn. Perhaps better not to do that. So in the meantime, he's starting 95, which is getting kind of serious. Come to think about it. I was thinking of rook c2. That knight on e5 is just gonna... Alright, screw it. Yeah, that's an important move. Important. Muy importante. It's gonna be hard to win this. My pawn is overextended. I might not be able to hold it in the long run. We're going to do our best. I think trading queens was a sensible decision. Marwa out of contention. I'm out of contention. No, dude, it's not fair. He rigged the pairing system. Well, He can really pile up on d6 if he wants to. Knight f7, bishop f8. Maybe I can play b4 at some point, and I can also possibly sacrifice a piece. The knight takes c5. Oh man, that's a really bad mouse slip. Full tempo loss. That was my dumbest mouse slip in a long time. Alright, mouse. It was the right middle finger that did it. Gave the mouse the finger. Obviously, the rook was meant to go to d1, not e1. That is great. Great square. So, I was thinking tactics. Try to get interesting. Create some imbalance. Of course, there's always the risk you could lose. But I'm not really sacrificing material here, and I'm already up a pawn. So I feel like there really shouldn't be any losing chances for white. Famous last words. He just didn't take it back. Okay, that can't be right. I think that's an offer you can't refuse. But he may have found the solution. Let's see, bishop d4, rook d6. Bishop b4, bishop a3, and c5. I should have gone to b4. Now I can play b4. No, it's too late. So now we need a new plan. c5 would be good, but he has pawn takes c5, knight takes c5. All right. So I'm just up a pawn, as I was before. Except it's 2 now. 2 pawns up. Make it 1. I thought that was protected. Number 1. Number 4. But I don't mind trading pieces, actually. In the endgame, pawn up. Pawn up, Pawnda. Be careful. We both have... He's got the king coming to a good location. I'm a clear pawn up. This is excellent winning chances. Although his king is going to be excellent on e5. May not be that well positioned to stop a queenside advance. The problem is I can't play b4. We have to reposition. Bishop h5 will get my bishop trapped. Tough game. DK guy got ahead of me at the last minute. We're all very surprised. A lot of pawns traded here, so black has good chances to draw. But it's still never easy with knights on the board. Even a bishop endgame doesn't seem that easy here. Just enough pawns for me to make this kind of difficult for black. Passive move. He can try to sit the knight on c5, but it's going to be kicked out. Or not. Stopping king d4. 3 pawns against 2. Can anybody say bishop and knight mate? A distinct possibility here? Now Arturas is ahead of me? What? Alright. Probably a real plan would be useful right about now. An actual plan. If he goes that far, I get into d4. This is probably a draw. Still no guarantees. He's going to lose on time. Knight a8 loses a knight. You can't stop the pawn. Not so easy. Who's DK guy playing? The pairing machine doesn't like me. It's Troll on a roll. Troll, can you stall for 8 minutes maybe? Can we just get a pairing against like a 1400 to erase all doubt? So check. Mr. Slowhand's rated 1900, and that's the highest rated player Warlock played except for me. Oh my god. But he got a 2-point score. What was that? Was that the last game? Demetrius? Yeah, he hasn't played since his draw. He's just letting us catch up. Alright, what do we got? 7 minutes? 7 minutes. I'm going to have to berserk. It's Sim to Vol. Well, we'll never make it if we don't berserk, so this is our only chance. $3.30. Your opponent left the game. You can claim victory in 70 seconds. He's going to go check the opening book. You can claim victory in 300 seconds. The Mora. Perfect. Just what I was hoping for. If you need a quick win with black in a limited amount of time, I would guess this opening is one of your best hopes, realistically. He's playing a strange sort of form of it. So he's like an absurdly fast player without really thinking about his moves. That's good for me. Bishop h6. Interesting. I guess I'll take that. He's gonna take? What is white doing? It's a good question. He's like berserking. Or am I berserking? I'm not sure who's berserking here. No. You have to trade queens. You don't understand. I insist. Apparently not. He found a way to avoid it. That's sick. You're kidding me, dude. Do you know how much I hate you? It's used 8 seconds. Is this player joking? What are you doing? Why are you wasting the chance to play with a title player? I'm berserking. Why are you playing like you have 3 seconds for the whole game? That's weird. Actually, let's not. Let's develop some pieces. I think my score against the Mora Gambit is like +5 or something. And against like Masters, it's +2 or 3. It's a terrible system to recommend to people. If you're a beginner though, it's okay. It's an okay thing to recommend to beginners. Seriously. But there's a point where you graduate from openings like that. And you have to accept that. Oh no. Well, my rook's not doing anything on g8 anyway. What is this player about, dude? Why are you playing in this tournament? It's actually kind of a good pairing for me to get. Now he has 6 minutes left. Why did I take on b2? We still have time for one more game. We can catch up to Marwa. Come on. This Arturas guy. He's actually like hyper fast. It's kind of strange that his rapid rating is higher than his blitz and bullet. It seems very, very strangely counterintuitive. Very strange. When you play too fast, your like faster rating should probably be higher. Mr. Slowhand with quite the comeback there at the end. Almost won the tournament. 2:46 left. Who is he playing against? Asterbait? Mr. DK guy cannot catch up. I should have berserk. All we can do is like try to draw or something. Nobody's gonna win this game. We can draw to gain points. Actually a bad system for black. But the CD is a very bad mistake. Blobix, you are late. You are late. D6 is too much. Getting greedy. Strategically greedy. Excellent position for white. Clear advantage. It's ugly. It's really ugly. It's a bad accelerated dragon. Marazzi. Draw. The only choice. We can try to... I don't know if that counts for the standings though. 14 move draws. Why didn't that count? It did count. Why am I still only 4 points ahead of Arturas? What, did he win again? How am I only 4 points ahead of Arturas? I thought I was already 4 points ahead of him. I know, I'm sorry, Switch Liquor, about scrolling up and down. I've had another complaint about that, and you're right. I'm sorry, it makes people seasick. It's true. I don't know how to correct that. But you have a good point there. How can we avoid that problem? There was another way to access the information without scrolling up and down. That is a problem. 29 seconds. Marwa Super GM. No, look at his pairings, man. It's unbelievable. Blobix, look at this. He lost against me, and then he got 1800, 1500, 1600, 1800, 1800, 1800, 1600, 1800, 1800, 1800, a whopping 1900, and then an 1800. He's rigged the pairing system. So he's not only good, but he's cheating with the pairings too. I had trouble with him too, but I managed to win because he played too fast. Luckily, he was overconfident about my slothness. The sloth. He's never heard that parable about the tortoise and the hare. I think it would be a good thing for everybody in our stream to be reminded of that very famous tortoise and hare parable. He did not berserk against me, but I did have another guy. This guy, Liam. No. It wasn't Liam. It was another guy who was 2200. Did berserk against me. So they're trying. It's a bad idea to berserk against anyone close to you. I managed to have the highest performance rating. 2390. Could have gained points. I almost gained points. But still, I couldn't catch Mawa. Alright. He's the champion, according to arena rules. He deserves it. I shouldn't be such a poor sport. Thanks everybody for playing. Marwa the winner. 13 games, 85% win rate, berserk rate 92%. He didn't berserk against me. I'm not going to do another arena now. I got to go to bed and get my beauty sleep for tomorrow's morning stream. So we'll be back in the morning, Wednesday. And it's Weird Wednesday Unusual Openings. We're going to play Blitz and Rapid Chess with viewers at 11 a.m. Central European time, guys. Thanks, Blobix, for stopping by. We had a donation from Mr. Slow, I think. Who was that? Who was that? Who donated 500 bits, Mr. Slow? Thank you, man. Thanks to all you guys for donating and supporting the stream. Congratulations to Mawa, Arturas. I was second. DK Guy, very close. Solid result as usual. Mr. Slowhand, good tournament. Liam, perfect score. Rossador was competitive. This guy just don't understand what he's doing. Trying to play like 30-second bullet in a 7+3 tournament seems strange. Super Chess Bud, thanks for joining. Bahuen, the final of the top 10. So thanks to everybody for playing. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks, Mr. Coffee, for being our moderator. And again, stay healthy, guys. Your head hurts. You better not get caught on national surveillance. Troll and roll. Take care of yourself. Maybe it was too much vodka. Because don't forget, vodka kills the virus. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't really work, but it feels good trying anyway. I'll see you guys later. Stay safe. Take care.
Bye-bye. Have a good one. Stay safe and healthy, guys. Take care.